Yo, it's Moss 808 brought to you by the Esoteric Soji, here to give you an astrological message and update the current events right now. We have the moon in Libra squaring the sun in Capricorn. Real life 3D example. Here we go. So, we were getting a new drawer, my other half and I. So I took out the clothes, started folding them. Halfway through, the other drawer arrives. I'm not direct in my communication, so I begin working on the dresser. Time flies by. It's 8:30 p.m. I'm over fixated, you know what I'm saying, with my ADHD. My wife, she assists. We have one piece backwards, so now I'm like, the room's not done. This isn't done. But it presented a moment for communication to arrive. So if it wasn't for that embarrassing moment, Lilith in Virgo, or aka not even an embarrassing moment, because Lilith is another man's idea, concept of a strong feminine divergent energy. They claim divergent because that's the only way that they could keep that into the loop and say that, oh, she's separated from God. But that would be her, and that's the only embarrassment would be, oh, now niggas gonna think I'm separated from you because you supposedly created me. That's wrong. It's just a little miscommunication, you know what I'm saying, divergent energy, rebelliousness, and therefore making your impact. It's basically gaslit. Lilith is basically just being gaslit. But when you're gaslit, you don't really care. You go with your move, and then like other people see that from you. So basically, if it wasn't for that embarrassing moment, we wouldn't have had that communication to analyze our emotions and to come to a reasonable solution, right? So boom, that's an example of you being a cycle behind, a moon cycle behind, and playing catch up. But since it's the waning phase, it isn't as detrimental. So with the moon in Libra, you might have been concerned about, okay, like if you're playing good seeds, you might not have had anything to worry about. And that's when Lilith also plays a part, because you don't create a worry where there is no worry. You can communicate something that you're observing, and what you're observing presently. You don't have to think on your feet, aka moon square Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces. It might have been a little slow delay that kept you frozen and restricted for that moment, not for you to hyper analyze on the energy, right? So you were thinking you had nothing to worry about, and if you didn't have nothing to worry about, like for me in my first house, I have that in my first house. I was thinking like I have nothing personally to worry about, that you can initiate a conversation or a diplomatic conversation or bring balance to as far as your status, because we're going through the phases of building our groundwork for, you know what I'm saying, the different emotions, going through the different cycles of different characters and golems and energies, situations, scenarios coming to play a part upon our status, feast on our status, or to amplify our status, because it's solid. So it's not really up there that strongly in the metaphysical world, because when you're focused on going up a mountain goat, you're going linear or up and down, and you're just like tiny steps. You ain't got time to be thinking about eagles, looking overhead, looking around. You're making the time, Capricorn energy. So there's that energy as well. And also that brings into, like I said, a status, or the moon in Libra. That situation brought a balance that needed to be restored in the end, as far as the communication, to be like, damn, you're not just trying to communicate for relating, initiating things that make you comfortable and pick a black and white site and get on. You're initiating that conversation to balance some stability. So that's what you're learning. You're learning, because I assume that, yeah, I'm gonna start this desk, you're gonna help me with that real quick, not thinking that you were going to bring balance to something. But to bring balance, you gotta bring balance to how you communicate directly and standing on business, as far as your initial foundation, what you're standing on. Don't lay down another foundation, because then you're gonna be multitasking, and then you're gonna end up being looking like the user and not the UZ as Capricorn. You know what I'm saying? People are using your platform, so they have to go through you, versus you being in two places at once, and these things are intertwining. So getting out of that sun and moon aspect relationship, it's not a grand square, it's a grand T square with Aries in the North Node. So Mercury is direct in Sagittarius, so this is a sextile. So our emotions right now, with bringing balance, like that miscommunication between the sun and what we're learning, you can take that opportunity to use that and relate a balance as far as a theology, a philosophy, or something that you bring into a new land and relate to the people as far as a teaching, as above so below, and ground that energy once the mercurial energy is going back into Capricorn. Then you are I think this is in conjunction to Pisces, where it's collective love and appreciation of these things. I mean, and before that degree, it is collective grounding and balancing. So yeah, it has the depositor. So you're initiating that conversation, you're going to be frozen in that conversation, and people are going to have time to deliberate before not escaping like Sagittarius, because you can't escape out of something that you really believe that you are in, Neptune and Pisces. So this is a one-on-one relationship misalignment that you need to get your point across emotionally, wanting to have two diplomatic standards and stuff, but you are going to be using the grounding energy. And then you're going to be looking at the collective consciousness of, wow, that's not really grounded. But you're going to look at the broader energy, the broader spectrums, the broader different legal systems that aren't diplomatic. You know what I'm saying? And then we have this in conjunction to Jupiter and Uranus, direct. So emotionally, something that you were worried about, that you're bringing balance to as far as your status, you know that you are using your emotions, you're reacting to bringing balance, and you use the Capricorn energy to do it. And so you're still going to be using the misalignment of Taurus and Uranus. Now it's going direct. It's not in the past no more. So now they might be butting heads because the moon's moving at speed, but Jupiter is at a slow speed. So you might misalign yourself with it. You might be over expecting an original or rebellious character to be at play with your wisdoms, and for you to go out and experience that. So it's kind of like that sextile energy, but you have it, you know what I'm saying, with Taurus. So it's what it has, what's stable in, what's bringing beauty and stuff in. And you're trying to think like, damn, it's time to bring this out. But I'm not comfortable doing that. But it's doing it in baby steps, right? And so you're trying to balance out which direction to take the baby steps. You might be overanalyzing that with that, being between that energy of Virgo, when the moon was in Virgo, or Lilith in Virgo and Libra. You know what I'm saying? You got to provide a little wiggle room and move around from that point. You know what I'm saying? Before it gets too stale, or if you move too much and cause too much friction. You have Mars in Sagittarius about to progress into Capricorn. So you're going to be learning how, you know what I'm saying, Mars doesn't do well in Libra, but you're going to be learning how to, your passions and your motivations from teaching and experiencing and going about this and communicating and bringing balances to your experiences, where it's almost like a Virgo energy, but it's not. It's like half and half with Scorpio energy, dealing with relationships and providing certain balances for relationships. That's where it's caring, but with your thoughts or with your lies. It'd be a two-face. If you're on the opposite side, you might play out like Gemini kind of, but you want to talk shit. Then you got Venus and Scorpio about to go into Sagittarius. So then you're gonna be able to take the opportunity for your love matters and appreciation and value as far as in their house relationships, spontaneousness and sparks, because where you're working on your status and building and other things in the area can be dry, you're still going to have that relationship and that diplomacy with your significant other as far as comparing theologies, because your theologies that you have bonded together when you leave the house, that's, you're more standing on business. That's more of your status could be presented that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's all the aspects with the North Node and opposing the Chirons. This can be things from our past statuses. You know what I'm saying? Our past emotions related to our status or things of that nature, because that deals with the past life. So you're looking at your status, you can see how people resonate with what they like or don't like about you, and what you like or don't like about the status that you are in from your past life. And so you can know what spirits when you're circling your space from your past life involving that energy, if you know what I'm saying. So thank you and tune in. Check me out. You know what I'm saying? Check out esoteric_SoG1. And I'm going to be getting up to speed more content and more uplifted stuff in that status as far as that right there. Thank you. Peace.